Peace is not to be chased. It is to be attained via regulation of your nervous system. And what I mean by that is, how many moments do you have where in one instance you are feeling balanced, visualizing your desires, practicing mindfulness via meditation and journaling, and the next you find yourself lashing out on those that you love, being highly irritable, and feeling as though you are being hard on others and even harder on yourselves? Do you spend hours dissociating on your phone, mindlessly scrolling to escape the discomfort that you feel in your present reality? If so, it's not that you're broken, it's not that you're lazy, it's not that you're sabotaging your elevation. It's that your nervous system is simply dysregulated. And we have to remember that in order for our body to be able to create a safe space for ourselves and a space where we can attract all that is good, we have to feel safe within ourselves. And so, although you may be listening and saying, okay, well, I'm not in a toxic environment, if you are, that could very well be the trigger for your dysregulated nervous system. But for those of you who have done certain things to maybe create certain boundaries, if you were able to remove yourself from toxic environments, you may be wondering, how is it that my nervous system would still be impacted if I am no longer surrounding myself around toxicity? But we have to remember that from that toxicity, trauma is born if we are unable to create certain boundaries and parameters to protect ourselves. And so, with trauma, we have to remember that trauma is stored within our body, consistently triggering our nervous system into a response long after the origin of trauma is removed from our present reality. There is a quote that I read that reads, when you start addressing the nervous system, you start learning the language of your symptoms and finally accessing those wounds that have been stuck and repressed in your body. So while we are seeking this peace, and in order for us to heal and re-regulate our nervous system, we have to first really understand and unpack what is the nervous system. Well, the nervous system can be broken down into two parts. Sympathetic, which would represent our fight or flight. The second would be the dorsal vagal. So when we are looking at the aspect of our nervous system that deals with the fight or flight, this is your nervous system preparing your body for a perceived threat. Think of this as an adrenaline rush, right? Your heart is rushing. You can feel the blood coursing through your veins. Your body is in a state of fight or flight due to that perceived threat. However, the dorsal vagal or the freeze response is different, because if this threat that is being perceived by your nervous system is so overwhelming that the fight or flight cannot respond, that is when the nervous system goes into overdrive and creates the freeze response. Your body will just kind of go into a shutdown. So now that we know what our nervous system is and how it actually shows up for us, it's important to also know what your nervous system needs so that it has a healthy relationship within yourself. There are 4 core things that it needs: safety, connection, rest, and activation. And when one or more of those 4 core needs are insufficiently met or not met at all, that is what causes the dysregulation. And so, knowing what we know now, your nervous system is then beginning to harness energy for fight or flight or freeze response instead of to thrive and heal and grow. So even amongst hearing all of this stuff, you may still be questioning, well, I don't really know if my nervous system is truly dysregulated. Let me give you some symptoms and key signs that you are experiencing a dysregulation and you are navigating life through self-protection rather through healing and growth. You are highly anxious upon waking in the morning. You are quickly to react to things. You have low energy and constantly feel exhausted. You don't feel in control of your life. You find yourself lashing out at people that you love and care about frequently. Many instances of dissociation or shutting down, like we were referring, a lot of us, we tend to get on our phones and just scroll and scroll and scroll, and the next time we look up, it's been hours, because we are in a state to where our physical reality in this present moment is one that is discomforting to us. So we seek it as a means of escaping. Irritable moods, and that can consist of you being passive aggressive and just easily agitated. Crying spells and an elevated heart rate. And although this is being dressed up to appear as though once you regulate your nervous system, you do not exhibit any of these symptoms or signs, and that is simply not true. In all of our humanness, we have to embrace all that comes with this human experience. And so it's not that once you regulate your nervous system that you're never going to have instances of irritable moods again and agitation. You're never going to experience that anxiety or moments of dissociation. But what the goal of regulating your nervous system is to have less moments where you feel out of control and more moments of feeling in control. And you can do that once your nervous system is regulated, because then you are not so much so reactive to the world. You are more so in observation of not just the world, but also yourself. So that's where the benefit comes in once you are able to regulate that system. So again, no, you are not lazy nor broken. To heal this nervous system, you have to meet it where it's at. And so we're going to get into what shutdowns in each of these nervous systems look like and what we can do to change it. With our sympathetic nervous system, some key ways that you can tell whether or not you are experiencing a shutdown is if you are experiencing heightened. I'm going to get another one for you all. Hold on. All right. Anxiety, irritability, overwhelm, and of course, stress. If you are experiencing a shutdown within the dorsal vagal aspect of your nervous system, you will see some elements of hopelessness, detachment, and that would be emotional, dissociation, and a loss of motivation. This is important because your nervous system craves familiarity, even if that familiarity is pain. That's why healing trauma is so important, because it is stored within our body and constantly triggering these aspects of our nervous system, causing us to feel in these ways. And so once we are able to detect how it is showing up within ourselves, we can work to heal it and create a new normal for our nervous system, and one that has a baseline of hopefully, motivation, feeling very hopeful, feeling very attached to those that are energy givers and have good boundaries, right? Feeling very blissful, feeling very peaceful and at ease. So here is a list of do's and don'ts as you attempt to create this new baseline. Step away from toxic relationships and set boundaries. Set boundaries. Rest without guilt. Do not blame yourself for taking time away that you need to pour back into yourself, however that looks. Protect your inner peace no matter what. And that does mean choosing yourself first every single day. Make your body feel safe. Practice taking deep breaths, because taking shallow breaths will trick your nervous system into thinking that there is a threat. And so it'll send you into that sympathetic fight or flight response, elevating your heart rate and rushing your adrenaline, causing you to feel anxious and stressed. Take deep breaths frequently. Lean into self-forgiveness. And allow yourself to be human, because you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna have instances where you feel things. So don't be so harsh and so critical on yourself. Immerse yourself in nature. Remember, in the last video, we were talking about grounding ourselves. Imagine and envision yourself rooting into the earth and you releasing any trauma and stored emotions that you have within you into the earth. Allow the earth to take upon that, because there is more than enough space that Mother Earth has for all of her children to heal. And envision that it's a two-way connection, right? So just as you are dumping all of your emotions and trauma into the earth, envision and allow the earth to send healing frequencies up into you, so that you can walk away feeling rejuvenated, re-energized, and restored within your, natural balance and peace. Get out of your head and into your body. And remember that all of the thoughts that you have are not yours. Remember to stay grounded in that way. Don't internalize opinions of others onto you. Remember, these are projections. Everybody is in their own reality, and so nothing that anyone else puts upon you is something that you have to take in and commit to your mind as a truth. Everyone's just projecting their own reality that they are experiencing. Don't people please, and don't say yes when you mean no. That's going to be a whole nother video though. Allow negative thoughts to spiral. Do not do that. Do not choose you. Always choose you first. Do not engage in mindless scrolling. As we were talking about, this is a form of dissociation. And when your eyes are locked on your screen, that's also another way that your nervous system will become triggered, because locked eyes trigger that fight or flight within you as well. And do not offer self and projected judgment onto others. Don't be so harshly critical of yourself, and don't be so harshly critical of others. You got to remember that how you treat yourself, your internal dialogue, is exactly how you're going to treat everyone outside of you. So be kind to yourself. Be kind to your nervous system. Be kind to your mind, body, heart, and soul, so that you can navigate the world with that kindness. And remember, our nervous system needs 4 core things to feel sustained and operate properly for us and not against us. The first being safety. So some things you can do to incorporate safety is having some attuned routines, but not too harsh, not too much routine. We have enough routines throughout the day, but just a form of predictability and stability throughout your day, to where you have something that you can guaranteed for a fact look forward to and expect throughout your day. This will offer structure and repetition for you, which is something that you need to feel safe. The next would be connection, right? So something that you could do is practice interconnectedness with energy givers, people that you have healthy boundaries with, that pour into you and you pour into as well. It's an even exchange, and it's not so transactional to where you are left feeling depleted. Activation will just be you engaging in the natural rhythm of the sun, the moon, and your body's natural ebb and flow. Tapping into that through meditation is really good, especially if you are a female. Learning how your body syncs up with the moon and the solar cycle, so that you can operate in the aspects of your cycle where you are most energized, and rest in the aspects of your cycle where you are, needing to rest. But whether female or male, we all have our natural rest and active cycles that we need to be able to learn for ourselves, so that we know when to act and when to rest, so that you are not pushing your body when your body is actually telling you, hey, I need some time to myself to just recharge. And that leads us into rest. The final core need of your nervous system is to just meet your needs. Remember, choose you first, and always choose you every day without guilt, without a doubt. You need you before anybody else needs you. If you can't show up for you, you can't show up for anybody else. So meet your own needs. Make your own standards, set your own boundaries, and don't waver them for anyone. Understand that your nervous system, you do have some traumas, you might have some emotions stored, but you are here to heal them, and that's all you can do.